So you might not know this about me, but I am a giraffe trainer. And so in 1972, that was when I adopted Bilbo, the baby giraffe.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Bilbo and I worked together for many, many years, you know, and the main part of the training was because like back then there wasn't like construction vehicles or anything like that. And so we had to rely on animals in order to help us like build things. And so giraffes were used for like building tall buildings, or at the time, what was tall buildings. And so my job was to train these giraffes in order to lift like beams up like higher than what we could actually do as humans. And it was very difficult because like the hard thing is sometimes like, you know, giraffes have really small mouths. And so like what we actually found that we could do is we could use their necks to wrap around the beam in order to hoist it high enough.
Wow.
Yeah. Which was very tricky because we had to do a lot of yoga with the giraffes in order to get their necks really flexible. So that was a whole other interesting time. Yoga classes with giraffes. They don't really like to stretch that much. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that about giraffes. That's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
So that was Alyssa. As you can see, Alyssa is a very inspirational person. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because Alyssa, for the past month, has kind of been my supervisor in the media department in YWAM Dunham. And she's been training me and she's been showing me the ropes and how to just do things. But you see, Alyssa is actually leaving in a week, which means that the next in line to be the media leader is me, actually.
All right. What kind of stuff are you asking?
I'm not gonna lie, Alyssa.
Yeah?
I didn't get to that part yet.
Wow.
My whole mindset was like,
I love the time that you're wasting of mine right now.
this whole idea of mine was like, let's set up lights and cameras and stuff, and then just figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I respect it. Sure.
Yeah. Why is that respectable?
I don't know.
Why?
Because I feel like I feel like I've trained you well. Media is just figuring it out as you go. I'm like, I did something right.
There's something quite relaxing about just like entering an office and not thinking about what you have to do today, because someone has that covered. Someone can just tell you what you're supposed to be doing. But, you know, once she leaves, then the person who's supposed to tell me what to do is me, essentially. And that's actually quite nerve-wracking. It's quite stressful in a way, right? And also it's like, if there's someone else that now joins the media team, then now I have to tell them what to do, which that too is actually quite nerve-wracking. Now, to be fair, I say that, but the media team was literally just Alyssa before I joined. So right now we're two, but she's going to leave and we'll be back to just one person.
Okay. What?
Yes.
What lesson are you glad that I learned?
Hold on. What lesson? I don't know. What lesson do you feel you learned? What lesson do you feel you learned?
I don't know. What did you teach me?
What? I'm gonna Uno reverse that question back on you and just ask like, what did you learn?
Here's a lesson I learned.
Okay.
Let's say I wanna change my computer hard drive. I need to make sure my computer's turned off first.
Yeah, but I didn't teach you that. You learned that on your own.
No, but like, to be fair, at some point you went to me and you're like, so what lesson did you learn, Reg? And I was like, I did learn I'm not supposed to unplug. So I don't know, you're the one who like confirmed that life lesson, you know? I feel like there are a lot of life lessons that you can learn like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am grateful that I hope you learned that media is a lot, but it's also not as stressful as it could seem. You know? Because it's like there's a lot of stuff that I find media is very scatterbrained, if I could use that term, where it's just like you'll have little bits of things to do, but they're kind of all over the place. but then every once in a while you'll have like a project to do, which will be like a solid doing, but then everything else is still scatterbrained going on around you. And so it's like, it can feel like a lot, or it can seem like a lot, because I feel like even in going through like the training for the weeks, it was like, I was realizing like, wow, there's a lot that you have to do and you have to be mindful of. But like in reality, it's still doable, and it's not like every single thing is like this massive project.
Alyssa's been teaching me in the past month now, and under her supervision, I've learned how to operate as the new media leader. But like there's still like a nervousness of knowing that like if I do mess up, there's no one to fall back to and say, hey, what am I supposed to do here? Because that person that's supposed to answer that question will be me.
You have been someone that has kind of like come up and have been an answered prayer, because whenever a staff member leaves, especially one that's like leading a school or a ministry, it's always really hard, because my heart was I never wanted to leave without media having someone to replace me. And so I'm just really grateful in the timing and how everything worked out with you coming in to take over media.
Now, to be fair, I was aware of this whole situation. I knew what I was getting myself into when I entered this whole place.
What, like, once you leave, what are you scared that I'm going to completely mess up?
I feel like this is less about the YouTube, and you're just like, I need to know. What do I have to avoid?
I mean, it's useful information for me too. I'm just saying.
Here's the thing. I'm not scared, because the other big thing about media is you're going to mess up. You're going to fail at things. Things are gonna fall under the rug.
I don't know if I feel good or bad. No,
things are gonna mess up, but that's okay, because we learn through the mistakes. And life a lot of times happens in the mistakes, like you get to have better connections with people because you get to be humbled and just being like, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, and then they get to come beside you and help you or lift you up or whatever, and so like I'm really not scared, because as long as you're like here and you're willing to learn and you're willing to grow, like both in yourself but then also grow like this department, then it's fine. Then there's no worry. Did you know that like in order for like when you hug someone for it to be effective, it has to be like at least 10 seconds long?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
If it's not, then the hug is completely pointless. Go hug a loved one for 10 seconds, at least. I would even say 20. Double the love.